Hey y'all, hey. It's your sugar here. Yeah. So you know what that means. It must be maybe it's about that time, right? 7:30 on a Wednesday night or up and around that time. It's me, Natalie Sugar Brown, with you. Uh you guys, my misfits chiming in or tuning in. And it's every Wednesday. Well, we try, right? But on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m., we come to the Sugar Show to talk about women's boxing. Yeah, I am Natalie Sugar Brown, woman pugilist or woman boxer. Been there, done that, lived the life. Okay, so this ain't no fangirl page. Okay, this is my platform where I come and talk women's boxing with you guys on that 100, right? Where we keep it real, okay? I am loyal to the truth, and we are here to have an unadulterated conversation. Yeah, you can keep it real with me. There's nothing wrong with letting Sugar know how you feel, right? This is a respectful platform, and what we do is we learn. Okay, so you don't have to know all the A's, B's, and C's, and all the other things that they write out there about women's boxing. You can just merely come on and ask questions. And trust me, we've come this far on the Natalie Sugar Brown show. There's no such thing as a stupid question, but if you want to act dumb, that's another thing. I'll treat you like what you want to be acting like out here. But if you want to ask a question, of course, my other misfits that chime in during the show, and my sugar will give you the best answer that there can be about what you want to know. Okay, so tonight's conversation is about this pound for pound list out here because it done got boring, right? It just give me a second here, y'all. Already, right? We starting already. Oh my gosh, my cow lick done got. Okay, we starting already. Okay, um, we're not having no minor difficulties, but yeah, we gotta get some things straight out here in the sugarverse. Um, we're talking about this infamous pound for pound list that now these media uh, outlets or these media types like to put out, right? And to me, or I say this, it's just another way for them to make money. Okay, you get, somebody put something in your hand. You work for this magazine, for this platform, for ESPN, yes, all of them, right? And somebody put some money in your hand just for you to put their girl's name on your list somewhere, right? And now you're making some money off the show. Okay, so my life as a pugilist, as a woman boxer in women's boxing, um, was kind of was pretty hard and frustrating because of this. Um, right, there's some of us out here that we just fight. We can fight. We have the talent to fight, but we don't have the means to pay for our way. Okay, well, meaning that you would think that, especially in women's boxing, we would be fighting our way to the top, and the real contenders are the ones who get the opportunities, and the real contenders are the ones who um, get their name on the list in these rankings and pound for pound talks. Absolutely not. Not nowadays. Maybe closer to that back when Sugar was active and fighting in the latter times, but not now. not up to date now. It's all about the money. It's about all about the honey, and it's all about who's out here acting funny. Okay. So there is a pound for pound list out, and I don't know how long tonight's show is going to be, but I got to speak on it. Okay. Um, I got to speak on this pound for pound because, women's boxing done got boring, right? That's how it goes. Because we have celebrity women boxers instead of real contenders. Once the celebrities ain't got nothing really going on, uh, the scene starts to kind of fade off and everything dies, which, everybody money kind of gets stopped, right? Because if no one's fighting, absolutely, if these celebrities aren't fighting, no one's really interested at this point in women's boxing, right? It's gotten really bad. I hate it, as a matter of fact. But there are some real good contenders out there that I would love for you all to start paying attention to. Start with your local baddies, right? Find out and see who's the baddest bit in your town, in your state, right? In your region. Okay, find out who she is, know her name, see what she does, and how badly she behaves, and see if she's a contender that could step up to these celebrity boxers and put on a good show, right? Because at the end of the day, it's if you like the broad, and most likely in women's boxing, is the broad who puts on the best show, not so much the broad who's always winning, right? Because that's money. Anyway, so I'm gonna name the the Ring magazine, because they supposed to be the Bible of women's boxing, okay? I mean, of not women's boxing, WBAN, the Women's Boxing Archive Network, is the Bible of women's boxing. But the Bible of boxing in general, who they've deemed so, is Ring Magazine. And all of a sudden, Ring Magazine has a women's ranking and women's pound per pound. Look at us, right? I remember in the ancient times, back when sugar was active out here and getting active and with the shits. Um, you were lucky if your name was mentioned in Ring magazine, right? Because they weren't paying attention to the broads, to the baddies out here. Um, it was something that wasn't real to them. But now, since they got people putting money in their hands about some of these broads out here that may not be the baddest out here, but they definitely got some money behind them. All of a sudden, Ring Magazine said, "Oh, we can. Well, since we get something in our hands, we can put some names on a list when we out here working so damn hard in the women's boxing industry to just be the best." Now, oh, look who's chimed in already, Michael. Or it's been a long time, Mikey. Thank you for chiming in. Michael Orr says, "Hi, sugar." Hi, Michael. Um, so we're gonna run through this pound for pound list that Ring Magazine got out here, and you let me know what you think about it, right? Because then Sugar gonna come with her pound for pound list, and it's current pound for pound list, not pound for pound ever, because that's a whole other conversation, right? But right now, in the past maybe year or so, right? We want the pound for pound baddies out here that's fighting. Um, Names are on this list, or are going to be named right now. And y'all tell me what you think about that. Eddie Barrington chimes in with roses. Oh, you always do it. Man, you just start off. You just start off treating a girl nice and doing sweet things. That's the type that I like. That's my type. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Treat me good, spoil me. Do talk to me nice. Do nice things for me and to me. And you got sugar. So hey Eddie, thank you. Thanks for the roses. And you let me know about this pound for pound list. Then I'm about to start. Now this is the Ring magazine. We want to start from the bottom. We want to start from 10. Okay. Now at 10, Ring magazine has women's pound for pound right now, Michaela Meyer. Okay. Omar, what? Omar, it been a long time, boo boo. What's up? Omar Johnson comes in all the way from Tennessee. I'm watching the best on the internet. Oh my gosh. Uh, it's good to see you on on my line. Thank you for hitting my thread on my line, you guys. I thought I was going to have an early bedtime, but it looked like the party done got started right away. Thank you, thank you. Um, Michael, Eddie, and Omar, you got me feeling good. Um, so yes, let me get back to this list, okay? Look at y'all got me cheesing and all of this. Um, so Ring Magazine got Michaela Meyer at 10, okay? For 9, they got Natasha Jonas. For 8, they got Delphine Persoon. For 7, they got Jessica McCaskill. For 6, they got Alicia Bumgarner. For 5, they got Shanesia Estrada. For 4, they got Amanda Serrano. For 3, they got Katie Taylor. For 2, they got Chantel Cameron. And for 1, they got Clarissa Shields. And this the recent, right? The year is more than halfway over. Okay. So and this who they got wrapping it up, because I don't see no big fights or no celebrity fights happening um down the line per se. Okay. But now we're going to visit Sugar's pound for pound for the year. Okay, well, for the year so far. Okay, so lovely assistant, I know you out there. Hit me with my first pick. Okay, so who I got for number 10 on Sugar's pound for pound list is Jessica McCaskill. And I had to put her up here. Why I put her up here, even though it was last year that she was defeated by Chantel Cameron, is because she has a fight coming up with a prospect who I then got into several arguments about, Sandy Ryan. So it looked like Sandy Ryan going to step up to Jessica McCaskill and try to make a mark in the welterweight division. Now the thing about this broad right here is she fought Chantel Cameron, I think sometime last year in November. Okay, and Chantel handled her nicely. Okay, Chantel sorted her ass out, and they were fighting for the junior welterweight titles, all of them. Okay, so they were fighting for the undisputed junior welterweight championships. Okay, so all of these belts, somebody paid the bill. Somebody paid. So McCaskill, she's rallying at 147 pounds. As a matter of fact, after she snatched the belts up off of Cecilia Breakers, she been holding on to them ever since, fighting low value opposition, just trying to keep them in her bag. Um, but we've been calling for her to step up now, okay, and fight opposition, higher value opposition in her weight division, which has somewhat become a zombie division because everyone's hopped out of it and either gone up to middleweight where the money at, right? Because from middleweight up to super middleweight, we have we have some broads that are pulling serious uh, are pulling serious bank, meaning there's some money making uh, broads. They people come buy tickets to their show. Natasha Jonas, who else? You got Clarissa. You got who else? Um, I mean, the names are. I mean, y'all come tell me. You know what? The middleweight division is pretty hot. As opposed to 147, the welterweight division right now. Y'all can't tell me anyone aside from right now Sandy Ryan and Jessica McCaskill who are making waves or who are hot contenders in the welterweight division. Okay. Um, Now she's at number 10 because I had to put her there. She fought Chantel Cameron. Okay, it hadn't been a year since, so she's in with the year. All right. But the rule is, and y'all look at my belts and bodies episode, okay? She held all the belts at 147 pounds. Now, when you're looking to fight another in another division for other belts in that division, if you it's in the same sanctioning body, you have to relinquish your titles in your current division to go down or up, okay, and challenge for the titles in the other division. Now, I don't know if she done disappeared because she think we want to forget about that rule, right? But the rule is the rule, right? So supposedly, she still has the 147-pound belts, which uh, it should only prove that, you know, whoever's paying that bill is the one who's going to hold on to those belts, okay? There's nobody at 147. Well, it looks like Sandy Ryan people them, because Sandy Ryan people them been trying to get her up there, been trying to get her a gig, been trying to get her that spot, right? So now she look like she's coming for McCaskill's belts at 147 that she shouldn't have right now because she went down to 140 to fight Chantel Cameron. Okay? But alas, this is women's boxing. And I guess whoever um, got the money make the rules. So her people them got the money. She's at number 10. I'll give it to her. This fight is coming up, I think, this month, middle of this month. The fight with Sandy Ryan is coming up. So it'll be interesting to see how Sandy manages Jessica in this fight. Now, I'll tell you this. With Jessica McCaskill, you do have to have some experience, not even know how to box per se. You have to have some boxing fighting experience to handle the juggernaut style that Jessica McCaskill brings to the table. Wild and crazy, wild style. Okay, very much like Franchon Cruz. I would say that these two fight alike. They're heavy hitters. Okay, and they put on a decent show. Okay, so looking forward to the matchup between Jessica McCaskill at Sugar's number 10 pound for pound list and versus Sandy Ryan. Now, this some tea, okay? Why did I check for this? Now, y'all know what's going on with the Alicia Baumgartner situation. We still waiting on stale piss to clear. Okay. Let's call a thing, okay? But why her ass come out talking about, yes, and Eddie must have did something wrong, and Eddie did this because I was supposed to fight an opponent, and Eddie had me hostage, and then trying to piggyback off Alicia's situation to speak out on side deals that she done made with Eddie and them. So I'm gonna tell you what happened with that if y'all don't know. Eddie said, "Shut the fuck up." Just like that. It had to be. It had to be. Because a day later, let's say I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to give her some pride and dignity. 2 days later, she came back. She said, I retract all the statements that I made about Eddie Hearn. He is okay. I'm like, are you serious? And the thing is, y'all know her man Ramos talked for her. She one of them. So he didn't really say anything. I think he was like, yeah, go and say it, right? Go and say it. So everybody know that, I'm the brains of the operation. So you go and say that and see what Eddie say or see what catches, right? But when you play shiesty games, you know what I'm saying? Somebody bigger and shystier will win. And looks like ain't a bigger shyster in the game than Eddie right now. Okay, so that's what's going on. Yeah, he told her to shut her damn pie hole and stuff it with something. We could figure out what she could stuff it with, but she ain't said nothing since. And now she got this fight coming up with Sandy Ryan. Now it'll be interesting to see if Eddie Hearn is interested in Sandy Ryan. Y'all tell me out there, Michael or Eddie, even Omar. Is Sandy Ryan cozying up with Eddie Hearn now? Um, what's going on what's up? What's going on with them? Because I don't know. I feel like Jessica McCaskill should win the match between Sandy Ryan and herself. McCaskill versus Ryan. I'm leaning towards McCaskill, right? Well, one of my misfits that always chime in, he loves some Sandy Ryan, but I just don't think she's seasoned enough to manage a McCaskill. But either way, I'm looking for these two women to behave badly, and if she does, good on her. That means, she done stepped up, and I'll be looking forward to some fresh blood and some new blood in that welterweight division. All right, so we're moving on to the next broad. Number 9, Sugar has Erica Cruz, lovely assistant. Now, y'all see that yellow, suspended by New York State Athletic Commission indefinitely. Now, they put that up when fighters um, have had fights, right? And because what happens is they want you to heal from the fight, so you can't fight back to back to back. A lot of commissions do that, right? So she can't get another fight in New York after the fight she had already had, I think, with Amanda for a couple months. That's how they do it, right? That's how they slow fighters down. But she can fight elsewhere. So she has a fight elsewhere with a contender, and her name is Melissa Odessa, or Melissa Parker. Melissa Odessa Parker. 6 wins, 1 losses, 0 draws. Okay, so we'll see how she does with that fighter. Now, as you can see, the numbers ain't adding, right? You're 15 wins and 2 losses, and you're fighting someone that has 6 wins, 1 loss. So you telling me that there are no contenders out there? Because you got to keep the number, right? That's the thing that's changing about women's boxing, right? We expect you to maintain your number. You can't be fighting high-end opposition and have a large number like you have 17 fights, then you go back to fighting someone with 7 fights, especially since there are more noteworthy contenders out here that you can choose from, right? So I'm interested to see, but I put Erica Cruz or Erica Hernandez on my pound for pound list because she's been out here. She's fought some great opposition so far in Amanda Serrano, Jelena Marjanovic, and others. Excuse me. And she is a high end contender. She's a great contender. So she made the list at number 9. Lovely assistant. Next image, next broad on the baddie list, on Sugar's pound for pound baddie list right now. Okay, so Natasha Jonas is number 8. Okay, look at her. She just looked like a little girl. Yeah, so she looks like a little girl, but she bad out here, especially in the middleweight division. I'm proud of her. Okay, so at 14 wins, 2 losses, and those 2 losses are when she was at that lower weight. I think she was at lightweight. She's heavy, and she bad in there as a middleweight, and who knew, right? So at number 8, with no fights coming up, is Natasha Jonas. Now the clock is ticking for her. We looking for some action from you, otherwise you lose your spot on the list, right? Ain't nobody paying Sugar, right? So we want some action from Natasha Jonas, and there's a lot of great contenders for her to fight out here. I think Natasha Jonas was up, or someone who was in the works to for a catch weight match versus Clarissa Shields. But Clarissa Shields came out and said that she was wanting too much money, which, I mean, I don't blame Natasha Jonas, right? It's like you the gwat, right? So you out there talking about how rich you is. Well, you want to fight? Pay. Pay me. Pay me. I'm Natasha Jonas, right? You're not going, you Clarissa Shields, you the one more in the position that you need a high-end fight. You need someone to fight you with a name. Otherwise, how you going to hold on to them belts you got? Gwat, right? T-Rex. So Natasha Jonas bidded out of her fight with Clarissa Shields, and right now I guess she's waiting in the wings to see what's up. I would love to see a catch weight match, or I would love to see her versus Natasha Jonas versus Jessica McCaskill. Very interesting match. I would love to see that happen. McCaskill shouldn't be afraid of the beats from the heavier hands, because Natasha Jonas is a naturally smaller woman who's just able to have her way in the middleweight division. So that would be a good matchup. Lovely assistant. Who's next? Come on, give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. All right. Now, I put Franchon on the list. I don't know why nobody put Franchon Cruz on the list. Franchon Cruz was undisputed super middleweight champion. She deserves to be on somebody's list this year. She didn't make nobody's list, right? And now she's in the bargain bin because she ain't hold on to her belts long enough. I think she should have, right? She should have fought. She should have played the Jessica McCaskill game. by fighting, lower end opposition so she could hold on. But I guess she didn't want to spend no more. She didn't want to spend no money, right? She wanted to cash out, so she called Savannah Marshall out, and Savannah handedly beat her in their matchup over there in the UK. But I think she's still noteworthy of being on a pound for pound list this year because she did her thing. She got the titles. She defended. Did she do I think she did defended her undisputed title one time, aside from when she gained the title, and then she stepped up to fight Savannah Marshall. So I think that was quite, what's the word, you guys, that I want to use? I think that was quite ambitious of her to do. And so I think she's still a great contender out here. I think Shadeja Green versus Franchon Cruz should be the next fight on the list. I don't see where Shadeja is that great enough to step up, and not saying that I don't think she's a good fighter. Shadeja Green is a talented fighter, but I think she needs a couple more high end matches under her belt, right? She's just kind of coasting into the one. I'm talking about Shadeja Green, right? She's this the one that gonna beat Savannah, this the one that gonna beat Clarissa, and I can't find one motherfucker on her list that's scary enough or on the level of scariness as the contenders that have been on Savannah Marshall's list, Clarissa Shields' list, or even Franchon Cruz's list. So yeah, like in women's we not, but this is chess, not checkers, right? We're not hopping over heads, right? Earn your spot. So I think Franchon Cruz should have another money match with Shadeja Green. And so she gets a spot on Sugar's pound for pound current pound for pound list. Oh, look who done chimed in. Women's Boxing Channel. Says you need to all look at it. Look at what though? You need to all look at what? Women's Boxing Channel says, so how you doing, gorgeous? And gave me the X. The X rated? Or one of them. Huh? So I'm gonna give you one of these, okay? You too, Eddie. You too, Mike. You too, Omar. Okay. Thank y'all for joining the party. I'm doing good over here. Women's Boxing Channel. I'm just talking about my pound for pound list, right? I'm comparing my pound for pound list to Ring Magazine's women's pound for pound list. So I got Franchon Cruz over here at number 7. Okay. You tell me what you thinking out here at Women's Boxing Channel about this list. Um, and I'm gonna just say this: Alicia Baumgardner done disqualified a lot of people who was on the list. Okay, I'm not. I don't see nobody over there right now because we waiting for PP. Okay, so any action that's concerning this fighter, Alicia Baumgardner, win or lose, is now real suspect, right? Because there's some additives that shows that she wasn't playing fair, right? She was hiding cards, and we don't do that. So she's disqualified from the list, and anybody who has fought her in the past year and a half. Okay. Um, Hence why Michaela ain't on the list. But Michaela done moved up. Michaela moved up, I think, to middleweight. I think she did. She just had a middleweight fight. She's another one. I would love to see Mayer versus McCaskill. Why she skip over why she skip over welterweight 147? She could be the 147 queen. They love broads like her at 147, at the 147 weight division. Right? She could go in there. Ain't nobody there. You know how Michaela do, right? It'd be perfect for her. So, that's what I'm seeing. I somebody fight. Somebody go to 147 and make some stuff work, because it's a zombie division that I'm just kind of tired of McCaskill gatekeeping, right? At least when Breakers had the belts, was paying for the belts, at least you knew Breakers was going to put on a show and fight whoever. They was going to fly over to where she at. Where's she from? Where is she from again? Netherlands, Sweden, one of them places. Norway, over there. She was going to fly over there. They were going to fly over there and somehow get lose by this much, but essentially win the fight. Win the fight, but lose by this much. Anyway, enough of my babbling. Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says, "How come you can't see my post? I posted with my undisputed pound for pound website address in it. I don't see it, baby. I don't see it in the thread. They blocking it. F's. Oh, well, I don't know what to say about that Women's Boxing Channel. Um, my guys, and I mean, you ain't gonna come on here talking about my guys now. We don't block nothing. We want all the smoke. We don't play. We out here. We ain't scared. We want to see this. We ain't scared. Anyway, yeah, I would love to see your list, Women's Boxing Channel. I want to see who you got. But while we waiting for you, cause ain't nobody blocking you, baby. We want to finish my list. Okay, so yeah, Fran Sean, yeah, she's on the list. Okay, at number 7, number 6, who we got, baby? See, you ain't gonna work you ain't gonna work my guys in the background, because I need my lovely assistant to do. Ah, there she go. So suspended by Nevada Athletic Commission until you see the date. Why? Because Shanice Estrada just fought there. Okay, they don't want her fighting no back to back over there, right? So she can fight elsewhere. But Shanice Estrada is at 25-0 right now. Super bad. Her number's looking good. Right now she only got 9 KOs in the 25 fights, wins that she's had. Okay, so look like she ain't knocking nobody block off. And to be honest, what I need for Shanicia Estrada to do now is step out of that weight division. All right, we know you bad there. We know you super bad. But a lot of the contenders out here, right? Because she's small. She's small. I think she's smaller than bantamweight. I think she's small. I would like for her to step up to bantamweight and fight some opposition there, because there's some people that she can fight there. My boys in Talking Fight says they don't see it in the block messages Women's Boxing Channel. So I don't know why I can't see the list that you posted, because like I said, I want to see that. Women's Boxing Channel says, "Hey, Talking Fights, can you personally give my website URL to Sugar so she can see it, please, by any chance?" I mean, if my guys, if it could work, if it can work, because I don't want to, I can't leave. I don't want to leave the page. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna mess up what I got going on. Yeah, baby, but just post it on here in the written forum. Just post it there. Okay, I'll take that. All right, so Shanisha Estrada, she's fighting a broad named Leonella Utica, who is 19 wins, one loss, three draws. And you know what? Leonella Utica actually is a pretty decent contender. I looked at her receipt. Okay, so she got some. This one's a good fight, y'all, to be looking at, right? Shanisha Estrada versus Leonella. Um, and like I said, either Shanisha needs to move up because opposition up here in North America and over in Europe and them, right? We don't have tiny girls like her. That's bad out here. So we're not really paying attention to that. But I would love if Shanesia Estrada brought some of them badass broads down in Mexico, Mexico City, down there, right? Up to where she at here and fight them, right? Not like what they doing over in Quebec and all of these other what these other sorry ass broads are doing by bringing uh shipping broads from Mexico who are just opponents to come fight them and so they can get a win, a W, right? I want Shanice Estrada to fight the names. I think Jackie Nava may be um maybe retired. I don't know. Marcela Acuna still fighting Crone out here. That would be a great match. I would love to see Shanisha Estrada versus Marcela Acuna. I think that's her name, out of Mexico, right? That's a super fight. Okay, that's a fight that needs to happen, right? And I mean, this is a crone out here still whooping ass. And Shanisha, if you about it, step in the ring with that crone. I'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. Both of y'all behave badly because y'all are the best right now in the business at your weight. Um, so next baddie on my list. All right, so we got Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor is number 5 on Sugar's list. Katie Taylor just fought Chantel Cameron, okay, and lost. And y'all know Katie Taylor, she's a superstar, okay? She's getting prepared for her rematch with Chantel Cameron. So that's what her focus is. She's stepping up from, I guess she's trying to get out of 135 to go up to 140. So I'm not sure. I think the rematch is Katie Taylor wants to fight Chantel Cameron for the undisputed junior welterweight titles. All of them. Okay. Uh, it'll be very interesting to see if the Roadrunner reinvents herself and comes with something else to deal with Chantel Cameron, because Chantel was just bigger and stronger. And Katie Taylor couldn't do that flurry and run shit. Like once you start moving up in weight, you got to stand and fight. Them big girls, ain't nobody dancing. Ain't nobody dancing around. Nobody's jumping and prancing and running around the ring. You got to stand and fight. Okay. And I think that is the adjustment that Katie Taylor needs to make in order to be successful at this higher weight division of 140 that she's trying to get these titles at. Let's see though. So, Women's Boxing Channel says Jackie Nava is retired about 6 months ago. Okay, so it's just recently. She was an amazing fighter at her best. Yeah, Jackie Nava was a baddie. Her and Marcella used to go at it, and another one. Ooh, they used to have some wars. I mean, those broads are legendary in women's boxing, but they're Mexican women fighters, and so up us up here in North America, for some reason, we only like to give our celebrity fighters uh, kudos and props. But nah, man, Jackie Nava, if you know women's boxing, you know that Jackie Nava is one of the best that ever did it. Um, and so Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says Chantel is the toughest right now, but Katie Taylor is the all-time undisputed pound for pound. I proved it. You proved it. Nah, Katie needs to prove it. You don't prove nothing, Women's Boxing Channel. What you do is you bring your um you bring your I guess, and I don't want to say facts, but you bring your argument, your points to the table on why Katie Taylor is the undisputed best pound for pound female fighter right now. Okay. I don't think she's proven that, right? When you have so many people questioning a lot of your wins, not just, it wasn't just one women's boxing channel. Like Katie Taylor has now a good amount of her wins that people have questioned big time, right? So we're over it. We're over it. We're over that. Oh, she won by a hair. If you're pound for pound the best, you ain't winning by no hair. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to do that. I suppose you're saying if pound for pound, Katie Taylor fought the likes of heavy, if she was at 168, she would beat Savannah Marshall. No, because Katie Taylor is not known to have power, right? So how would she beat a Savannah Marshall, right? Speed, okay, at 160, uh, what is it? Clarissa Shields, what she got now? I think Clarissa Shields got two. She's undisputed in maybe in two weight classes. Well, Clarissa Shields is known to be speedy and very skillful at her at the heavier weight division. So, do you think Katie Taylor at 160 pounds could run around the ring like she does to win a fight at that? We talking about pound for pound. No, that style doesn't work. That's what I was saying earlier, right? That's why she couldn't beat Chantel Cameron, because once you move up from 135, you got to stand and fight. You got to stand and fight. You can't run away. I mean, Holly Holm used to do that shit, right? Holly Holm used to be the horsey and run around and but what Holly Holm used to do is stampede her her opponent and then pull out, stampede and pull out, stampede and pull out, right? Um, until she ran into Anne Sophie Mathis, where she stampeded, and Anne Sophie had her running into something every time and stopped her ass, right? Then when she came back for the rematch, like how Katie Taylor's trying to do versus Chantel Cameron, she ran around the ring and ran around the ring and ran, and because it was in her hometown and it was her promoter, they said she won by decision over Anne Sophie Mathis. But that was we know in women's boxing that that was not the case, right? She ain't beat, she did not beat Anne Sophie Mathis the first time. We know that for damn sure, and for damn sure the second time. I know they told Anne Sophie to pull her punches, and they probably paid a little more to give them belts back to Holly Holm. But I digress. Back to the list. Oh, Women's Boxing Channel says, so when talking who the pound for pound, we need to state what category, ergo undisputed, current, all time. Don't come, listen, Women Boxing Channel. This is why me and you always get into it. Don't bring your ass on the show late and shit, right? I'm the only person posted that, like, I start the show, right? So when I come on and I'm late, I'm starting the topic off, right? But don't come on here late and shit talking about we need to state the category already done been stated. Okay? All right, so we done stated the category. When we talking about undisputed, we talking about undisputed right now. Okay? All time is a whole other category because Katie Taylor ain't, can't be no pound for pound best for all time in women's boxing. She can't be. She ain't got the guns to be. So you telling me Katie Taylor, pound for pound, would have been able to stand in there with Ann Wolfe? I'm talking about because there were other monsters, but Ann Wolfe, all times, nah, um, ain't no all times talk for none of these broads. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, ain't no guessing games on my site. It's statistically calculated in-depth criteria with opponents of each fighter's CV stats too. Great. But I'm going to tell you this. I've been in there. I'm a fighter. Been in there. I don't care who you know, Women's Boxing Channel. I've been in there. I've been a fighter, right? And I've fought people with statistically or who had stats. So I've been in there with fighters who statistically were supposed to be better than me, and I bust their ass up. That's why Sugar didn't get many fights, because I had previously sparred some of these broads and they didn't want no smoke, or I have they knew that if they got in there with me, they wouldn't be able to perform as they did with the opposition that had made up their stats and their CVs, right? So it's one thing. There's one thing to on paper, right? We call those paper tigers. Is another thing when you staring that tiger in the face, and now you got to go with that tiger, right? So, it is guessing, right? Because a great fighter said this, right? Everyone's got a plan. Everyone's hot shit till they get punched in the face, right? Um, Fight wise in women's boxing, we know that a lot of these rankings and a lot of these statistics and a lot of these outcomes are because bills are being paid, but someone's being paid. It ain't like the olden times where you had to show your weight. You had to prove your weight in salt in that ring. And a lot of the times too, my generation is coming from a lot of the broads with the ugliest record, the losingest ass broads was the best ones, because they were the ones that didn't have backing. They were just in there fighting, right? Terry Blair, fighters like that who you would never mention, no one gives awards to, right? But Terry Blair, for one, she was a badass fight. She was bad. She was tough, right? But turned her into an opponent because she didn't have that money. Nobody was trying to pay for her wins. She had to earn them, you know? Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, you always saying we can say what we want. Then when we do, you get stupid about it. Like, behave yourself. How am I getting stupid about it? I just told you. Right? What do you want me to do? Like, Women's Boxing Channel, what do you want me to do? Huh? I just told you why. I just told you why Katie Taylor can't be pound for pound undisputed the best. I just told you why. How is that stupid? Tell me, how is that stupid when I asked you the questions? If Katie Taylor was at 168, do you think she would be able to dance and be a track star against high-end opposition? Do you think with her flurries, she would be able to hold any of these big broads off? A big broad like Savannah Marshall. And you talking about, I'm getting stupid? Don't do that. Now you getting stupid. Don't do that. Behave yourself. Then Women's Boxing Channel, come on. You want to debate? Have a debate. But don't act like you're always right, like you're doing right now. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you put my views down. Sad. I did not put your views down, baby. You're the one that's telling me that I'm stupid on my show. On my show. You lucky I made the agreement with my guys in the background that it's going to be some censorship. Because it'd have been some bleepity bleep bleeping if it is Suge, right? You don't come on my show calling me stupid and sad. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, right? Now we debating. You still haven't come back to me about how you think your girl would do of all time either against Ann Wolf. Like, you're not telling me, according to your statistics and your CVs and shit. Tell me why Katie Taylor tell me why you feel like Katie Taylor would beat up the likes of Christy Martin, Layla Ali. Even Christy on Brooke's show said Layla rang her motherfucking bell. And Layla a big broad. I'm talking about even Jackie Frazier, right? So come on, this ain't point fighting. We're not point fighting, right? Katie Taylor is the queen. She done brought that shit from the amateurs and done shit up the bed in pros with that flurry point fighting style. Women's boxing was never about points. It's about a fight, behaving badly, not running and flurrying. Let's get back to that. Eddie Barrington comes in and says, LOL, you can't say anything about nothing saying she gonna agree also. Okay. Beginning of the show started off with the disclaimer saying, bring your opinions and there are no wrong questions. Right, Eddie? And then going come on here late with that jive. And then had the nerve to try to be the victim. Nah, boo-boo. Nah. Don't do that. Eddie Barrington says, if you're going to act dumb, you're going to get treated it. And the thing is, I don't think anybody out there is dumb. None of my misfits are dumb or whatever like that. But don't do that. Don't come on here acting simple. Because, yeah, I'm going to treat you simple. Eddie Barrington says, she said these things. and gave the emoji. Thank you, Eddie. Because sometimes I be thinking I'm making stuff like I ain't made nothing up. I said it. I said what I said. I said it. Right? I had already said that. Women's Boxing Channel says, ha ha ha, bleepity bleep. I've been told. All right, baby. See? Um, Women's Boxing Channel said, is you yelling at me? You put it in caps. You lucky that I got this relation. This only you. You the only one that can have this relationship with me. There can only be one. Women's Boxing Channel. Go and put it in all caps, talking about look at the darn site, and you'll find out what I said in all time pound for pound LOO. So you laughing? All right, listen, boys, put the link up. Put the link up. Right now, you got me. You put the link up. Because I want to see what Women Boxing Channel talking about. Then got me all frazzle dazzled. Eddie, send me a drink or something. He done got me. And Women's Boxing Channel says, I ain't just talking off the top of my darn head, sugar. All right, well, I want to see what you talking about then. And then Women's Boxing Channel then says, she loves me. Ha ha ha. You laughing at me. You see? You playing with my emotions. You on here playing with my emotions, Women Boxing Channel. Omar Johnson says, oh, you come in laughing, Omar. Okay. Everyone leave a like for Sugar. I'm glad you always remind us. Y'all, please leave a like, subscribe, and share this, Sugar. We stuck on Katie Taylor because of Women Boxing Channel. Next. I'm done talking about it. So she's going to fight Chantel, and we're going to see how that go soon. Now, at number 4, Sugar's got Amanda Serrano. Okay, I got Amanda Serrano at number 4. I feel though like not fight wise, but you know what I'm saying? Heart and soul wise, Amanda Serrano got me. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? She doing stuff. She doing real stuff. Now listen to this. This she's at number 4. I had to put her at number 4, right? On this list, right? Because she's fighting this girl named Daniela Ramos. And Daniela Ramos is 12 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws. Now, bitch, you 45 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. And you fighting somebody with 14 fights. Nah, girl, you got to deeper in that bag. You gotta find somebody with you gotta find a name. You gotta knock on somebody's porch who may be a little bit heavier, who is at 140. Pop, 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 pop. Hey, girl, what you doing? You want to lose some weight and fight me on my porch, right? Like something like this. She wants to now step up, and her next fight is 12 rounds, 3 minutes. Okay. You want to do it? Okay. I mean, Layla McCarter already did it. Layla McCarter fought as a woman. I think she did 12 rounds, 3 minutes already. But now Serrano wants to do it. But girl, you ain't going to do it with no green broad. You're not going to don't do that. Don't do that. Right? We want to see you dance that dance. Do that funky chicken. Do that dance with somebody seasoned who been around. Right? Because ain't no green broad out here going to be entertaining enough to fight you for 3 minutes. And for 12 rounds, we're going to get bored as hell. Yeah. You need a name to do that. Right? The ground you're trying to break is not breaking. See, that's the corny shit I'm talking about. Like, one step forward, two mother sucking steps back. Right? Yes, I love that you're stepping up to fight 3 minutes. Ooh, I love it more that it's 12 rounds. But bitch, who you fighting? Who? You need to go ask Maureen O'Shea, right? Cause Maureen been around for years and Maureen been trying to prove herself for some time now. To lose some weight, because I think Maureen O'Shea can lose some weight. Okay? And y'all go at it. Y'all have been around long enough and done enough things that that fight would be more entertaining than Ramos versus Serrano, 3 minutes at 12 rounds. I ain't watching that. I'm gonna tell you already, I ain't watching that. I ain't got the time. I got stuff to do. Right? No. Okay. And Amanda, you're talented and you can fight and all that, but bitch, you ain't that hot for me to sit there, and watch you do that by yourself for 12 3-minute rounds. No. And what you want to do? You want to take the girl the distance? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to do 12 3-minute rounds, you need to be in the ring with opposition that is going to carry you. You know what I'm saying? You 45, 2-1. Find somebody with 14 fights. You should very well stop this girl. Right? It ain't gonna make it to the whole 12. It shouldn't, right? So that's what's corny to me, right? It's corny that you would do something like step up in this way, and then you would do it against opposition that you should be beating, that you should be stopping early in the game, right? No. And so, okay, so let me see. Listen, the thing about it is, if you put this link up, I'm not trying to leave off the show. If I put the link up, Women's Boxing Channel, and leave off the show, then if I come back, it's going to mess up the flow of the show. Okay, that's why I wanted you to print your list. Just print your list and we can discuss it, and then I can go see why, your numbers and statistics, added up to that, right? I just want to see your list from 1 to 10. That's where I am with that, okay? But y'all check out, you guys who are looking at the thread, please check out Women Boxing Channel's pound for pound list, and y'all tell me what y'all think about it. We can come back and we can have a good old round table about it, right? Because that's what we talking, women's boxing at 7:30 on Wednesdays. So okay, wait a minute. Okay, so Women's Boxing has acknowledged that that's their site. Women's Boxing Channel also says Layla McCarter fought 12 3-minute rounds in 2007 twice. That's what I'm saying. Once for the WBA world, but nobody ever did 12 3-minute rounds unification of 3 alphas. Nobody. This is real history. Against who? So you saying nobody ever fight for all three? Yeah, because back in 2007, none of these sanctioning bodies was giving us opportunities to fight for these belts like that. You know what I'm saying? Now she got Jake Paul to pay the sanctioning fee for that. So, that's how it's working. That's what it is. Like this is real history. No, it's not. Like it's paper history, but women's boxing history, real groundbreaking history. I'm sorry, McCarter got that. As a matter of fact, maybe she should fight McCarter. You know, even though McCarter rallies at middleweight right now. Women's Boxing Channel says Jake Paul is the modern man 100. We ain't talking about him. We ain't talking about him. Talking Fight Boxing says, okay, so Talking Fight posted your uh list. Okay, so at let's see, at I don't know. Okay, I see at 9, Franchon Cruz is at number 9. Number 8, Amanda Serrano. Number 7, no, you didn't put Cecilia Brækhus on the damn list. You need to stop. Number 6, Alicia Baumgardner, PED plus. Okay, I wouldn't even put her on the list, but you do you, baby. Number 5, Chantel Cameron. Number 4, Savannah Marshall. Number 3, Jessica McCaskill. Number 2, Clarissa Shields. And number 1, Katie Taylor. And you put the numbers next to them. And I guess, tell me what the numbers are for. Tell me what these numbers signify. Tell me what the numbers signify, Women's Boxing Channel. Talking Fight says all-time pound for pound rankings is at 6, Alicia Baumgardner. At 5, Chantel Cameron. At 4, Savannah Marshall. At 3, Jessica McCaskill. At 2, Clarissa Shields. At 1, Katie Taylor. So wait a minute, Women Boxing Channel. Let me get this straight. You talking about for all times? You couldn't be talking about for all times, naming all of these broads who just came in the game Johnny come yesterday. You got to have more respect for women's boxing than to do that, right? I think that your all-time pound for pound list is disrespectful. Women's Boxing Channel says, I ain't corny to not reach 12 over 3 minutes at all. It ain't corny to not reach 12 over 3 minutes at all. The whole object is to finish the opposition quicker. Cut that shit out. Cut it out. At the moment, there's endless unanimous decisions that could have been stopped if they were 3 minutes. Cut that shit out. No, we're not doing that. We're not looky-see. Women's boxing had that, and this is what shows me that you need to do a bit more homework, Women's Boxing Channel. You just came in the game. You're just now impressed and bedazzled by these young broads that are happening now, right? It's not, oh, if we can make it. Women's boxers been making it. We did 15 rounds at 3 minutes. Check the history, right? So you can't come on nowhere, right? And your list need to be reevaluated, right? You coming for us now. You coming for women's boxing because there have been women in history that have fought 15 3-minute rounds, right? And you can't measure them up against none of these broads now with no pound for pound, right? And it's not about, oh, who can finish it and who makes it to the end. It doesn't work like that, right? So that's how that goes. Women's Boxing Channel says McCarter spent. How is McCarter spent? She's still fighting. Women's Boxing Channel says Katie Taylor is at number 1 with the number 6,412. Clarissa Shields with the number, I guess she's number 2 Oh no, Katie Taylor is her number is 641. Clarissa Shields' number is 613. McCaskill's number is 540. Savannah Marshall's number is 305. Listen, I'm done with these numbers. I can't number no more. Okay, I'm watching fights. I know how it feels in there. I'm watching fights. Ain't a number, can't a number. You can't tell me a number that describes a hard ass fight, right? So just give me a second here. Just give me a second here. Hey, excuse me, ladies around the corner. Hello? Okay, are y'all hearing me? I'm not talking to my computer around the corner. Yes, I'm just asking, can you kind of lower it a bit because I'm doing a show? Yeah, and I just don't, I know that you want to talk, but it's kind of reverbing on my show. Okay, thank you. Hey, y'all, hey. All right, so, um, McCarter's not spent. She's still fight. She's still a crone fighting. Okay. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says the list is this. Okay. I see the numbers and everything, but it's still not adding up, baby. It's okay, so a new misfit comes in, RSCARF1. Okay. Says that's an active pound for pound list, not an all-time list. Okay, so the active, are you speaking on behalf of Women's Boxing Channel's previous list? Because my guys on Talking Fight has put that all-time pound for pound rankings tap name for calculations. Okay, so I guess they just cut and pasted. So I'm gonna have to just check it. Okay, I'm gonna have to check this, y'all, right? Because I hope. I hope Women's Boxing Channel ain't disrespecting the game by putting these young broads up there, because none of them can be on none of our pound for pound lists. None of them. Um, so Women's Boxing Channel says, STFU, ha ha ha, there are only 9 undisputed champs. Don't be silly. I don't care how disputed they are. You think a belt meant anything? I don't care. I already explained to you what this belts and bodies bullshit is, Women's Boxing Channel. Me? Right? I'm not impressed by belts. You are. Fanboys and fangirls out there are impressed by belts. I know how belts are gotten. I know how belts are kept. And it ain't about a fighter being good, great. It's about the money. Okay? Those belts are about the money. And everybody knows that. And that's why I have the Natalie Sugar Brown show, right? Because I just feel it just does not reflect good on us, how this whole charade is going in women's boxing right now, right? We work too hard. We have worked too hard for uh, all of a sudden these belts, because we had our own belts, right? Women's Boxing Channel. Do the research. We had our own belts. We had our own sanctioning bodies that acknowledged us, right? And all of a sudden, because WBC, WBA, WBO, all of them now we got some people that can pay them. They want to acknowledge us. Don't mean nothing to me. So I don't care about undisputed. I really don't. I care about women behaving badly. I care about bad bitches out here performing and doing their thing. Um, so Women's Boxing Channel, it's a ranking of undisputed compared to other pound for pounds only. It's an undisputed category, all time category. How many times do I have to tell you? Women's Boxing Channel says the numbers are calculated from the criteria. Good grief, it's hard work explaining to you for some reason. I I don't think it's the fact that you're explaining your thing to me, Women's Boxing Channel. I think it's hard for you to understand that what you're basing those calculations on doesn't matter on this platform. You know what I'm saying? On this platform, we know what robberies are. On this platform, we know what shenanigans are. We know what promoter prestige is. We know all of that stuff has an influence on a fighter's record, a fighter's performance, and all of these things. So, what you have based your calculations on is severely flawed. And that's why I have this show to talk about it, Women's Boxing Channel. That's all. Now, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud that you've put together that criteria, and I'm proud that you have done all of those things to justify these people who, unless they paying you, are you getting paid by, are you getting paid by these belts and bodies? Who's paying you, Women's Boxing Channel? I hope you're not doing this because you're just a fanboy or a fangirl gal, right? I hope you're doing this because you really, 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 really know the facts behind a lot of this bullshit that's happening out here. I mean, just let me know, right? I've lived it, but let me know how you do it. Um, Eddie Barrington says, I see on WBC site there's a long point system that makes up these scores based on a bunch of criteria. Neat, neat worth a look after the show. Okay, I'm going to look at these criterias, y'all. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna make a note of this. Okay, where my pen at? Where my trusted pen? Okay, so sanctioning body ranking criteria. All right, I'm going to look that up because we're going to have a show and a discussion about this. And I'm expecting all y'all to show up. All y'all better show up at that one, okay? Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, thank you, Eddie. Okay. Eddie Barrington says, good point, too. The criteria lost doesn't include all the behind the scenes BS and shenanigans. Or Eddie corrects themselves. Good point too. The criteria list doesn't include all the behind the scenes BS and shenanigans. RS R Scarf One comes in and says Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson would be on an all-time men's pound for pound list, not an active pound for pound list. That's the difference. What about Holly Holm? She should be on an all-time pound for pound women's list. Many, many. That's what I'm saying. You know, our scarf one is saying, you know. All time. We talking about of everything, of all time. Women's Boxing Channel comes in. Ooh, y'all done got my baby. Don't know what the cap lock, don't even know that the cap lock features on, and then started with the capital. Got my boo screaming over there. And you know you know Women Boxing Channel up late right now, upset. Calm down, baby. Calm down. You know that song, right? Calm down, baby. Right? We're just talking. Women's Boxing Channel says that's because it's a statistics calculation, Eddie. Right. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, statistics, we're talking about fights, not statistics. This is not the statistics show. You know, this is a show about I'm a fighter, a real fighter. I've never, like, if it was up to statistics, I wouldn't be me. right? Because statistics wise, I don't have many fights. Statistics wise, it doesn't show that I have the experience that I do have. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm known in the industry because of what I've done, right? That's off the record, right? I don't go by that. I can't go by that, right? It's against what I know to be from my lived experience. You know what I'm saying? But we still at number 4. But lovely assistant, change the image. We're at number 3 right now. Women's Boxing Channel comes and says, over a whole career, the stats do not lie. Baby, yes they do. Yes they do. I'm gonna tell you this too. Ain't no such thing as Santa Claus. I know. Statistically, how do all these kids get gifts at Christmas time? Santa had to have been busy making presents with the elves and Rudolph and, but he doesn't exist. We got real parents out here busting their ass 9 to 5 for that one day a year for their kids and their loved ones to open the present and they say, oh, look what Santa brought you. Look what Santa did. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So we're talking about Chantel Cameron, and she's number 3 on Sugar's pound for pound list, current pound for pound list right now. She gave Katie Taylor her first defeat. She popped the cherry. Yeah, she broke her virginity. Now she's a loser like everybody else, where she done lost, right? She's tasted defeat as a professional fighter. And Katie Taylor, that is. And it was Chantel that put that cold metal spoon in her mouth and said, here, you get a taste of this medicine you've been giving everybody else. And I liked it. I liked the way that fight went. I like Chantel Cameron. She's proved herself time and time again uh, in these times, as she's a very very good champion. She deserves the belts that she has, and I'm looking forward to her growth. I would love to see her step up and fight middleweight opposition as well. She can. She's even talked that talk where she said, I'll go up to 147 and snatch them damn belts off of McCaskill up there. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Now, that I will take the time and watch and see, right? Um, because, maybe McCaskill may have an edge at a heavier weight. Who knows? Um, but yeah, so Chantel Cameron's number 3, lovely assistant. What's the second? Give me who's number 2. Okay, so my guys have been talking on the thread. Eddie Barrington says, imagine being a fly on the wall for some of the backroom combos that have happened over time. Theories alone would make a great topic for a show. Oh, yes, yes. Um, yeah. But it's only been recently that these conversations about women's boxing has really been popular, right? I mean, we've always talked about it on the scene, women's boxing and management and all of that. But now we got people out here that are interested in who's out here. The only thing is that now everyone's not getting a shot at everyone's not getting a ticket to the dance. We're not seeing as many contenders, whether they be great contenders or journey women or, opponents like we used to when they used to have women's boxing nights on USA, on ESPN, back in the Friday night fights back in the day. There were on Fox Sports back in the day where they used to show women's boxing and just different women boxers on the different media network platforms. You used to see different tastes of it. Now there's tunnel vision. You're only seeing the celebrities, which is not fair. um Women's Boxing Channel says, you look at Serrano's opponents, most of them were tomato cans. Facts. Yes, that's what I was saying. And y'all, you were there, Women's Boxing Channel, when I said it back in the episodes, some episodes on back. I'm not. I really don't think Amanda Serrano's number and that she's this great fighter. She's not. What's great about her is, she has a great manager and handler in Jordan. He don't let her talk on the cell phone, right? He let her focus on this fight, and he moves. He speaks to who needs to be spoken to, and he makes the moves. And she's been with him and her, Amanda, and her sister, Cindy, have been with Jordan for years, ever since the beginning. So it's now paying off with Amanda. But I would even rate Cindy Serrano as a better fighter than her sister, Amanda Serrano. Yeah, I said it. I think Cindy was better as a fighter. Um, so that's why I'm not looking at those numbers. So we got Savannah Marshall at number 2. Okay, she just got undisputed champion by Franchon was the one that came on her porch. I think she was minding her business, and Franchon was like, "You, let's fight. I'm gonna fight you. I got all the belts, and I want to fight you." That shit, I can't even, I don't understand. Unless Franchon realized that she had to keep paying for those belts, and she just did this super fight with Savannah Marshall to cash out. That's the only sense it makes. And I think it does make sense that way, because Franchon have been trying to make it for years, and she has not been able to bring in the money, make no big money like how she's made in her past couple fights. So yeah, especially this last one versus Savannah Marshall. So now Savannah Marshall has the burden of the belts. Savannah Marshall has to find a way to pay the sanctioning bodies for all of these belts that she has, right? And I made a suggestion on the W Band thread maybe a week or two ago, where Savannah Marshall versus Christina Hammer is a great marketable fight. They need to make that happen. But I'm not sure if Christina Hammer has the heart to be in a real fight, right? Because she was one of the first celebrity hot boxers. I am big, and I am German, and I'm sexy, and that's what I do. I don't really fight. I just be sexy, and I punch girls. That's my poor um, impersonation of Christina Hammer, right? Well, if you can do better, then come on and do it. Anyway, yeah, so I think Marshall versus Hammer will be a great fight for Savannah Marshall to make some money off of. Otherwise, I think that her and Clarissa over there in the PFL, they looking to make some money fighting an MMA match. Come on now, I'm just not into that much into YouTube broads. Y'all ain't my type enough to watch y'all roll around on the damn floor. And yeah, I'm just on feet and ass on the floor. I can't. I I want to see y'all box and fight. So y'all lost me there. But good luck to y'all on the MMA platform, and let's see how that goes. I would like to see Cyborg fight Clarissa or Savannah Marshall, if that can happen over there in MMA, or maybe if Cyborg punk ass could come over to women's boxing and do a match. That would probably be something that I uh, probably glance at, you know. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the thread. Women's boxing. Oh, Eddie Barrington says change room, change arounds, live on Talking Fights. Change room, change arounds. Okay, so that would be the title of the show. I mean, it might can happen. It might can happen. Women's Boxing Channel says same with Cameron for the first half of her CV. Tomato cans, yes. Okay, but if you notice, a lot of fighters fight the tomato cans in the beginning, and we just gonna say that. Okay, I didn't fight tomato cans. Okay, I didn't. Um, but I mean, it became a trend now, right? Get the number up, get the knockouts out. But we want our girl to look like she's just the King Kong in this mother. You know what I'm saying? So she has that. But Chantel Cameron has stepped up and has fought high end opposition and has handedly beat them. Okay, Mary McGee was no joke. Mary McGee is no joke as a fighter. Congratulations, by the way. She just had a beautiful daughter that she's showing off now. So all the best in motherhood to her. I don't know. I don't know if she's coming back. So she has two beautiful children right now, and she's moving. She's life is happening for her, and I'm happy for her in doing that. So. Who knows if we see Merciless McGee back in the ring again? But Mary McGee was no joke. Okay. Um, who else did Cameron fight? Cameron fought some opposition that was okay. I mean, even though she beat a stale Melissa Hernandez, but she beat her ass up. You know what I'm saying? So she said she was willing to step up. Okay. Women's Boxing Channel says break us two. Yes, break us two. Right. I don't even, that's what I'm saying. Breakers is on your list. When was the last time Breakers fought? Breakers ass couldn't even show up to fight Terry Harper the other day. She was so scared. Yes, and I said it. She's scared. How you gonna catch a cold the night before the fight and they cancel the fight? That's what they said happened. Oh, I caught a cold, bitch. I don't care if it was COVID, right? Your ass would have fought. Do you know? Y'all don't even know. Y'all really don't even know what happens out here. We got broads out here, pregnancy tests come back positive on night of the fight, and they ass is in there fighting. Yeah, yeah, a sneeze and a cough ain't never stopped nothing, right? So like I'm so over. I've been over Cecilia Breckus, right? But now the bag lady need to get her ass in the bag and go set down somewhere. Set her ass down somewhere, right? Pack your ass up in a bag and set it down somewhere. Yeah. So Women's Boxing Channel comes and says, then you look at KT and Shields and you'll say they fought less vacant titles and beat opponents who have great scores on their CBs. Um, I mean, I'll put it this way. Like I said, I don't I mean, yeah, Katie Taylor fought Jennifer Hahn, who is a great fighter, stale, right? Um, I mean, there's timing to this. Even Clarissa Shields, but the only thing I would say with Clarissa Shields is Clarissa Shields had fought each broad when she was supposed to be hot. She fought them when they were hot, out the grease. So, you can't say that Clarissa Shields fought anybody stale. I can say Katie Taylor fought some stale fighters, right? Her like this statistic talk. I'm done. Like I'm a fighter. I've fought. I've never been scared of nobody's numbers, and ain't nobody numbers ever impressed me. Women's Boxing Channel says, listen, Mary McGee won against nobody worth a mention. Tell me whom. Well, let me tell you something, Women's Boxing Channel, right? I don't like now I'm finna get your ass straight. Um Mary McGee, Mary McGee fought opposition out here when nobody was filtering opposition, right? Mary McGee fought um Brooke Dedorf. No one whom to mention. Take your ass on Brooke's show and say that very same thing to Brooke. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're saying. Like, you don't know what to say out your mouth, right? Mary McGee went against nobody worth a mention. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about win. We're talking about fighting. We're talking about fighting. It's different, right? She went in there with Brooke D, right? Brooke D didn't stop her. And Brooke D was a tyrant too back in the day, right? Mary McGee is a tough contender, right? I wanted to fight Mary, right? It didn't, the stars didn't align, but we're not going, I'm not going to downplay Mary McGee. I'm not. And Mary McGee didn't have after her promoter because she was one of them. She had a great promoter starting, but her promoter died, and she was trying just like the rest of everybody else to get herself going in the game. It's not easy, right? It's not like these silver spoon fed ass bitches that you're talking about who they got backers, they got money behind them, right? Some of us it's hard. Some of us we don't fit the statistic that would make people want to put money behind us, right? The shit ain't easy. So don't with your numbers and your statistics come out the side of your mouth about fighters that you don't know what their struggle is. The struggle alone for Mary McGee was to get damn fights. I know what that feels. I know what that is. Women's Boxing Channel says, every time McGee has fought any world-class fighter, she lost point blank. Women's Boxing Channel says, she lost to Brooke for God's sake. Ha ha ha. McGee lost against all decent fighters. That's what I'm saying. Decent to who? This is what I'm talking about. Decent to who? So, because she went down and fought Farias? You don't know. You don't know what the background is for these fights. You don't know. You're acting like people had a fair chance. You don't know. You don't know if these bitches were getting ready for Mary McGee months in advance and then called Mary McGee 3 weeks notice, 2 weeks notice for these fights. You don't know. That's what they do out here. Right? You don't know the game. McCaskill been training. Right? I got the fight from McCaskill 2 weeks notice. The fuck you mean? Like, don't get me started. It's shenanigans out here. I do this show because they do shit like this, and it's people like you with your numbers and all of you and your fanboy and fangal and shit that you don't know what the real stuff is. You don't know that we sign our blood on the dotted line. You don't know that we take a chance on ourselves when people are plotting against us and putting us in positions where we can be hurt and killed. And you're talking about nobody worth mentioning. Get your ass in the ring and do something. Get your ass in the ring. Find somebody to back you. Find somebody to get you ready. Find somebody to find you a fair fight. And then you can talk about who is worth mentioning. How dare you? You don't do that. You're being real disrespectful. Now, I done gave you a chance. But now I got to get your ass straight. And with that, we're going to go to, who's the number one on my list? Clarissa Shields So we got Clarissa Shields, okay, 14 and 0. So that O ain't go just yet, okay? And she's pound for pound on my list. She just fought Marcella Cornejo, okay? And Cornejo to me was not. I mean, she's pretty decent opposition, but it wasn't to me. She wasn't. She's not high end opposition. I really wish Clarissa would give the likes of um, Raquel Miller a chance. You know, I don't know why they won't. I don't know why these fights won't happen. Tika Hemingway. Now, Tika Hemingway was trying to be brought on. I mean, she was trying to get on with Roy Jones, and Roy Jones was on Brooke's show. I wish I was around to ask Roy why he ain't put together Tika Hemingway versus Clarissa Shields. That would have been a great matchup, right? But you know, everybody, people out here fanboying, fangirling. I bet you, statistic wise, you probably wouldn't even um, rate Tika Hemingway, but Tika Hemingway is a good contender out here. She needs, she needs some experience. She needs a handler or a backer to give her good opposition so she can grow and she can be contention for the likes of Clarissa Shields, Franchon Cruz, Shadeja Green, Savannah Marshall. She's a big girl over here doing stuff, and she's quite talented. I've seen her. Um, but you know what I'm saying? Let's see what Women Boxing Channel said. Oh, I do know the game. You been in the game? You been a female fighter? Have you been a female fighter? Have you been a woman's boxer trying to make a living, trying to be somebody? Have you? Because knowing the game and living the game is two different things, baby, right? Talking to a pilot about a book you read about flying a plane is different from that pilot telling you how they flew a damn plane, right? Um, Women's Boxing Channel. I ain't no fanboy, ha ha ha. I'm ex BK bare knuckle. I mean bare knuckle, yeah, but were you a woman boxer? Were you a woman boxer in the time when the shit wasn't cute? Were you a woman boxer where we wasn't making no motherfucking money? Were you then? Were you there? Were you there? Where your ass was at? That's what I'm talking about, right? I don't care about your numbers and stuff. Those things make a difference. Those things determine your numbers and all of that shit. And that's why that number system is severely flawed. I do not acknowledge it. You can't, right? Put it this way, right? As hard as my ancestors worked, right? They should be millionaires, right? But guess what they were? Slaves, so they work for free. That's the shit I'm talking about, right? Right? They did all the damn work, right? Ain't get no money, ain't got paid, ain't got acknowledged for it, right? And some of them invented shit, ain't getting paid for it, right? The traffic light that you use, right? Because the color of that person's skin, their family can't even get the money off that legacy. That's the numbers and statistics and shit. How many traffic lights done been built and sold? That's the shit I'm talking about. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Now, that's what I'm talking about. So we're talking about women who work hard to try to be something in this industry. And then women who somehow, right, got lucky. And you're saying one is better than the other? No, it doesn't work that way. And it won't. It won't, right? Because as long as you have your number system, it's going to be people like me who lived it, who ain't afraid to talk about it, and who ain't afraid to tell you the truth about what it is, because we did it. Um, So yeah, bare knuckle fight. Well, you weren't a woman boxer. You weren't a woman boxer. I also got the first ever BKB. Like, okay, talk to Jane Couch. Ask her how easy it was. She's the first woman to do anything significant or of substance over there in the UK, and she should be rolling in the dough right now, but she's not, because people like you don't acknowledge her that way. Um, I'm from a fighting family. I'm from a fighting family too, I tell you. Ruby Scott could whoop some ass. That's how she met my granddaddy, Uzziah Scott, right? She was whooping somebody ass and he liked her. And then that's where I get my fighting spirit. Um, Along with, the other fighters in my family. It's in my blood. That's why I'm good at it. Women's boxing channel says way back, my great uncles all were old time prize fight. That's good. You said uncles, right? You said your great uncles. I still have yet to hear the female fighter who you are, that you know, right? Who that have been through the shit that you can tell me about, right? They're all you're seems like you're a man. Your family were men fighting, right? It was kind of easier for them. Being a woman fighter, a woman boxer, certainly not easy. That's why I got a lot to talk about, right? That's why I'm proud of who I am. That's why I'm proud I made it with all my faculties. I made it with my pride and my dignity. Okay, because this shit is not easy. Um, R. Scarf One says Elena Tisson's manager sometimes switched her opponents, probably knowing all along who he would ultimately pick. The opponent was at the disadvantage, but agreed because she wanted the title shot. So our Scarf One comes in like shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Women's Boxing Channel. I've lived with women's boxing for the last 6 years, every day of my life. Okay, good. Compare that to the uh, 23, at least 23 years. I grew up and became a woman doing this shit. You can't tell me nothing. You take a seat, baby, and listen to Sugar. Women's Boxing Channel said, oh, I know a female fighter, all right. Speak to her every single day. Well, good. Maybe she could tell you something, right? Because I'm sure that she would agree with what I know and what I'm telling you about this women's boxing game, right? It's really real, right? So I don't judge nobody, right? I'll tell you what you did, right? And then based on what you did is the assessment that you get, right? But what you did is the truth, right? So if you padded your shit, if you cheated on your shit, if you trained and got ready for a broad, and only gave her 1 or 2 week notice, well, right? This boxing game is very karmatic. So a lot of shit that these broads are going through, oh, your test came back dirty. Oh, well, what happened to you? Oh, you can't get you stuck on the shelf. Somebody they shelved you. You can't get a fine. Oh, right. It's because you and your team been doing some fucked up stuff, right? And it done put you in a position to where if you were real, you wouldn't have to depend on a lot of shit, right? But you're not. You got bought. You paid for your spot. So now you got to wait, right? You got to wait until you get money to keep this, or you got to wait in the spot and keep making money and pay for your spot, right? Or you got to get the hell off the spot, which is what a lot of these broads have to face right now. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap the show up. It done got late. Thank you all for chiming in. Thank you all for chiming in. All right, I'm gonna run it down. Thank you, Michael Orr, for chiming in. Thank you, Eddie Barrington. I'm still waiting on that drink. You ain't buy me no drink. But I got the flowers, okay? Thank you, Omar Johnson, for chiming in. Thank you, Women's Boxing Channel, for making it such a spirited discussion. Okay, I like when you stop in. Thank you to my Talk and Fight team for accommodating our misfit guests with putting the information that they've worked so hard to calculate on the thread. Okay, uh, thank you. Who we got here? I'm looking at the thread. Thank you, R Scarf One, for adding your insight. Okay. Um, I really appreciate these conversations, you guys. It's always a party when we link up. I love y'all, even though we get into our little arguments and debates and spats. Just know that you're still my sugar. Our scarf one says, "Are you going to the Hall of Fame this year?" You know, they had invited me, but it's coming up in October too. I may just pop up. I ain't even gonna lie because I nominated. I was on the voting panel for some of the fighters are getting the awards and have been nominated. So I would love to see how the event turns out. The W Band team does an excellent job of putting such a wonderful ceremony celebrating the sisterhood of women boxers. Um, they do a wonderful job of putting that together. Yeah, it's in October, our scarf one. I don't know if I'm going to be there this year, but I'm certainly going to make plans for the next one. I got to talk to Sue and see how that do, right? But if you guys are in Vegas in October, I think the early parts of October, please, y'all stop by the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, and show the baddies of women's boxing some love, right? We got the olden ones and we got the new ones there, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, "Thanks for disagreeing with everything I said and putting my site down. It's been a pleasure." Did y'all hear what Women's Boxing Channel said? Talking about I put their site down. If y'all been paying attention to the show, y'all know. Y'all been here the whole time, so I ain't even gonna say nothing. I love you too, Women's Boxing Channel. Our Scarf One says, "I'm going." Okay then. Well, our Scarf One, please, when you go, I want you to come back on the thread and let me know who you saw and how it went. Right? I I'm excited for you. Have fun and you know, tell all the gals that you love them. Tell all the gals that you appreciate that they had the gall, they had the moxie to behave badly, because it takes a lot to be a woman boxer. It really does. It's not easy to do this, and it's not easy to go through what we all have gone through. Okay, so I'm gonna end the show. R Scarf One says, "Of course," and R Scarf One says, "I know. I appreciate that." Lovely assistant, make me big on the screen. Please, please, please. Thank you. It's been great. It's just been real tonight, you guys. It's a party when we link up. And thank you to all my guests who chimed in. And thank you to all my guests who silently watching the wings and um and show up on Wednesday nights for the Sugar Show. I love you guys, all my misfits. Like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment down there in the comment section. And until next Wednesday, bye bye.